And success, as our Sheikh said, is not money, Muslims. Real success, ultimate success, is at the time of death. You know, they say, these life coaches and the rest of it, imagine your casket, your coffin is there, and then see if you have led a successful life or not. So I want to mention a story with you, and I've got 7 minutes. I want to mention a story with you of a person who lived on the obedience of Allah and His Prophet, and I want to highlight his utterance at the point of death. His name is Amir ibn Fuhayra. Whoever's heard the name, hands up. MashaAllah. And I will assume you've heard it, Sheikh, and you're shy. So we've got 3 people in the audience. Amir ibn Fuhayra was the freed slave of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. So beginnings are very simple. Slave, but he's been freed. Islam came and emancipated him. But he was loyal, so he stood in the service of Deen and to serve and help Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. In the day of Hijrah, guys, please live this with me. Hijrah of the Prophet, the pretext of it was that tribes of the Quraysh, all of them decided to come and attack the Prophet at one go and kill the Rasul. So every tribe in Mecca have decided to kill the Prophet. Jibreel came, Ya Rasul, migrate. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam chose to leave Mecca and come to Medina. You would imagine that when a whole society wants to kill someone, it's a scary time to be alive. But Amr ibn Fuhayra in this difficult moment stood firm. So he was one of the very few people who knew the Prophet is migrating. He was the one who went and got the camels. He was the one that took food to the bottom of the mountain to take it to the Prophet when he was in the Ghar al-Thawr. He was the one that brought Abdullah ibn Urayqat to them. He was the person standing in this difficulty, and Allah blessed them to migrate with the Rasul, and he migrated around the same time. Years passed, he's in Medina now, safety, and he's become, through his closeness to the Prophet and closeness to the Ashab and his obedience to Allah and His Prophet, he's become one of the most learned of Muslims. So a person came, a chief of one of the local tribes. He said, "Oh Prophet, can you send us some teachers to teach my people?" So the Prophet sent Ashab, teachers, to go and teach new Muslims. Amidst the group is Amr ibn Fuhayra. Teachers to teach a new people. As they traveled to the tribe of this chief, on the way they camp at night or in the afternoon, and as they camp they get ambushed. So they're busy with their campfires. A couple of them have gone and taken the camels out to graze. The rest of them are sitting getting ready, and ambush comes and they kill them, merciless. Every one of them slaughtered, stabbed, slaughtered, you know what I mean, killed. So the 2 or the 3 that had gone to graze the animals, they came back and they saw massacre. So as you can imagine, emotions override. He screams, he jumps in to try to avenge his friends, and they don't want to hurt him. They've tied him up. They capture him. So he says, "Let me go and I'll show you what I'll do." "So what will you do?" "I'll fight again." So they release him, he fights again, they tie him up again. But no one wants to kill. They've killed everyone else, but no one wants to kill these guys. It's a strange situation. So one of them said, "Come, look at the dead." And the hadith is in Bukhari, but I'm joining it with another hadith for a more complete fahm of because the understanding gets limited otherwise. So He came and looked at all the slain Muslims, and can you imagine, these are your brothers in Islam taught brotherhood, so he's crying obviously. And they ask him, is there anyone here missing who was amidst your camp? But he said, yes, there's one person missing. So he said, who is he? So he said, Amr ibn Fuhayra. So he said, who was he amidst you? And he said, the best of us. You know, early Muslim, migrant, helper of the Prophet in the hijrah with the Rasul, the best of us. So he said, come. And he took him to a man who was dazed, you know, just looking out blank. His name is Jabbar, not Muslim. He says, this is Jabbar. Jabbar, tell him what happened. So Jabbar said, I came from behind him, behind Amr ibn Fuhayra, and I got my spear and I dug it in his back, and the blade came out of his front. The normal reaction you would anticipate is, you know, a scream, agony. So he went, and he looked, and he saw blade has come out, and he put his hand under it in blood, and then he smiles, and he says, Fuztu wa Rabbul Kaaba. I succeeded by the Lord of the Kaaba. At the point of death, when you're supposed to cry, give wasiyah to you. Fuztu wa Rabbul Kaaba. I succeeded by the Lord of the Kaaba. So he says, I pulled the blade out, like maybe I've missed it, you know. And he goes, he went up. Can you imagine? From the ground, up, until he disappeared in the clouds. So his friend said, he goes, the angels took him. Fuztu wa Rabbul Kaaba. I succeeded by the Lord of the Kaaba. Because he lived a life on the obedience of Allah and on the obedience of the Rasul. And when death came, however it came, he was successful. And the greatest success, my dear brothers, as described by Allah and His Prophet, فَمَنْ زُحْزِحَ عَنِ النَّارِ وَأُدْخِلَ الْجَنَّةَ فَقَدْ فَازَ. The one who traverses over Jahannam and enters Jannah, indeed he is successful. And the way to do it, وَمَنْ يُطْعِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فَقَدْ فَازَ فَوْزًا عَظِيمًا. Whoever obeys Allah and obeys the Rasul, whoever lives a life of a true Muslim ala basira, with clear understanding of the deen, indeed he has become successful in this life and in the next. May Allah Rabbul Izzah grant me and you success in this life and in the next.